1 second, y'all. 1 second. All right. Alpha 2. Okay. Hey, man. It's sneakynoahking in the building, man. You already know. We're here to look at the Alpha 2 preview. I'm excited for this game. Because, y'all know it's been, what, two and a half years since I first saw this game. So right now, I really want to see what's gonna go down in Alpha 2 because I'm bought into Alpha 2 already. I bought in from years ago, so I already got my code, everything ready to go. But a lot of people said this game wasn't coming out. They said this game is a fraud. This game's this. This game's that. Right? I'm not saying that this game's gonna be the best game ever, but goddamn, it's gonna be a good game for sure. Now, would I be playing this in 5 years? Maybe. Maybe not. That's even if people releases. Because we know that this game, a lot of the problems with this game was just the time management. Maybe because it was supposed to release. They said it was supposed to release 2020 or something around there. That was like the first date they gave, but now it's almost 2025, which I have no problem with. To be honest, me personally, I have no problem with because, man, take your time. Take your time. If you gotta take you gotta take longer. Take your time. So that's why I'm really mad about it. Some people are very mad about how they didn't release back then, but I'd much rather they release a full game, proper game, than release some half shit, and just try to update it to get right, like what they did with New World. So I'll take. I'm a busy person, so the longer they take, the longer I have to do what I have to do. So I'm ready when this game comes out. I can put the time aside to play it. So yeah, man, let's get into this Alpha 2 preview. I might skip around through the stream because the Alpha 2 part is just 30 minutes itself. But we're going to see. We're going to see. We're going to get into this. All right, so let's get it.
to our September Ashes of Creation development update. We hope everyone has had a amazing month and has been staying safe, especially with hurricanes and madness
I know,
coming.
but
My wind
hurricane
is
has been
nuts
crazy
outside.
lately.
Pray that our internet stays up. But I think we should be fine. It's just a little rain. We'll be okay. Obviously, I am here with Stephen Sharif, our creative director, and I am Margaret Crone, the director of communications here at Intrepid Studios. But we have a new phase that everybody has been waiting for a really long time. I know the community has asked, when is Bill going to join us? And here he is. So before we get into everything, we're going to do like a little intro for Bill, give him a little spotlight. He's
Bill,
going to turn
people
all
have been
red.
asking.
Okay.
People have been asking where you've been, and here you're finally here.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not that interesting.
Well, we'll
I
find out.
disagree.
I have some questions for you. We'll see. But first, one of them is can you talk a little bit about what a director of design does here at Intrepid Studios?
Yeah, sure, of course. My main job here, besides I lead the design team, so I hire designers, I mentor designers, I try to guide their career as best I can, within Intrepid here. But really, my main job is, and this took a while for me to fully comprehend because Steven's vision is so vast and uh, I'm supposed to be the ultimate, champion for that vision and making sure that we're communicating that internally, to our team so that everybody understands the vision, everybody understands how we interpret that to deliver the best player experience that we can. And it's a big, complicated game, and it's critical that we're all kind of rowing in the same direction. And so that's really my job. Steven can't be everywhere, so I need to figure out how to distill what Steven wants into things that everybody can have in their pocket, so that they know how to make decisions that Steven would make.
And let me tell you, Bill, boy, oh boy, it is a night and day difference from what it was prior to you joining the team to what it is today. I would be dead if not for you right now.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I know that feeling because when I first started too, I was like, okay, I have to really I put on my Steven cap is always what I say is like, okay, but because my job is like similar to yours, but mine is like on the other side of things. It's the communication, the branding, the marketing side, which is no easy feat. Steven has dreams, big ones. But I think like we're all very passionate and care a lot about it too, because Bill and I both come from like huge MMO backgrounds, which we're going to find a little bit about. I know lots of folks have been excited for you to join us, and they would love to know a little bit more about the history of your work, because you do have quite a little MMO background there.
Yeah, most of my professional background is in MMOs. I've been making games for as long as I can remember. I'm an old school, pen and paper DM is
Hell yeah.
as a kid.
All of us here are.
I know.
in sixth grade. So, and professionally though, I got started in '96. I was a co-creator of the original EverQuest. Most of my work there was on the world building and level design and lore side. I basically, a lot of Norat, the world of EverQuest, is comes from that sixth grade D&D campaign. I'm working with some folks who actually played in that campaign and also worked with me on EverQuest now. Tony Garcia is,
Some of the EverQuest
was one of my players in that campaign.
Some of the EverQuest expansions were like campaigns that you guys ran too, right?
Yeah,
and some
definitely.
of those characters that are in the world. It's pretty cool.
And so, I had a long career there at Sony, about a decade there at Sony, doing EverQuest and expansions and EverQuest 2 and some other smaller games and some MMOs that unfortunately never saw the light of day, which at least one or two of them I still,
Bill had to take down some art that was behind
still
him.
painful to think about. Yeah, but so most of my career has been in MMOs. I dabbled for a little bit in mobile development. That was interesting and had some success there too with a little startup that I had, and did an app called Koi Pond, which was a big seller early
Nice.
days of the iPhone.
How many cats scratched iPhone screens with that app?
Yeah, exactly, right. And then I worked on an MMO called Defiance, which was a big challenging project that was multi platform. That was a and we also were the other thing that's I've been very fortunate in my career is like I've always worked on original IPs, which is something that I really enjoy, and so that was an opportunity to like dive into a sci-fi IP that we created and had a
There's like a
tie-in
TV
television
series that went
show.
along
Yeah,
with it.
so
Yeah.
uh, with Kevin McPherson, it was me and him, and we were playing, and we were testing some early population in EQ, and we're happening to
I'm
us.
sorry, they're talking about other games. So I am not interested. Okay, cool. Bill Trials, shit, cool. But I'm trying to get into the meat. I'm sorry.
And so it's like
It's not.
we're building we're building things, and it's cool. We're getting to express ourselves and build things, but leave room for the player to, because it's those stories that they can tell afterwards
Absolutely.
that are where the real magic is. So it's like we can design the player completely out of experiences if we wanted to, and that's so and for junior designers sometimes that's the you know that's what they think the job is.
Right.
And so yeah, it's always making sure that both in our game systems and in our lore that we're leaving room for players to contribute and to be part of it. And that's another thing that attracted me to Steven's whole philosophy with how we're running Ashes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 100%. And of course, with that, we're going to kind of transition. We could probably sit here and chat with Bill all day about games, but we do have to do this show before I have a baby. I'm like, just so everyone gets their bingo card.
And my
You can shuff the bump.
goodness. Oh my
God
God,
damn.
Margaret,
I am massive
that
now.
baby is ready to go.
I am definitely hoarding a watermelon at this moment. You probably
Where-
can't tell, but I'm just like this. But my stomach is huge. I'm
Holy
due
smokes.
anytime. So we'll see. Hopefully
It'd
we'll
be
make it through
crazy
it.
if she
I
was
saw some
like,
people in the chat who were like, I'm worried she's gonna have her baby on stream.
yeah, if she had a baby on sheet, that would be
Joked around
crazy.
about it when we were recording,
Yes,
but
yeah.
I think we'll be okay. Um, but we have our guide to Alpha 2, which will incorporate a bunch of stuff. We just want to make sure that everyone has an understanding of what is coming, especially like what is going to be the features that will be at launch, as well as we will have an article that will go out with that as well later in the week. Um, we will do a studio update, a little art update, and then we'll answer some of your questions. This will be the last pre-grabbed Q&A. In the future, we're going to kind of transfer those into live Q&A. So we'll be pulling questions live. We always pull questions live, but we're going to try to just like do more of those versus like the pre-generated ones. So you're just going to see the live streams change quite a bit as we move into Alpha 2, and we'll be doing more gameplay with our players and things like that. So you're just going to see big changes with the format of the live streams, and this is the start.
It's going to be a significant transition, but we feel that this is an appropriate transition given the stage that the product will be moving into with Alpha 2, and what we want our focuses to be with these community updates, right? With how we're engaging with our audience, and it'll complement that road, that path that we've set forth with regards to how we're going to be updating Alpha 2, how we're going to be iterating on Alpha 2, bug fixing, all of the things that go into increasing the quality of the product, expanding the quality of the product. The live stream will be now serviced to continue that, and in a different paradigm.
Yeah, it'll kind of be like you'll see little patch, like maybe some pre-formatted videos that are more like patch note style. You're going to kind of see something like that here with the guide to Alpha 2. And then we'll still do some gameplay oriented things as well. It just kind of depends on what features are coming up, especially for our big updates versus the smaller ones. The bigger updates, you'll probably see those as more of kind of like the previews that we've done in the past. But yeah, you're just going to be seeing some changes, you know, keep that in your minds as expectations as we move forward. But let's go on to our quick reminders. Of course, we do have our YouTube subscriber comment spotlight. This one's a little long, so I'm probably going to ask they asked multiple questions, Steven, so I'll just do it in sections instead of reading it all at once because it's a lot. But if you would like to be spotlighted in the future, just make sure that you're subscribed to us over on our YouTube channel. You have to make sure that you're subscribed publicly because otherwise we can't tell that you're subscribed. It's very strange. and then leave your comment on the development update video, not the preview video. But I will transfer over to this. So the first thing here is they're curious.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
this thing is huge.
This is from we pick randomly. Visar31 wants to know, I'm curious to know if the intended mechanics of design for relics changed during development. When Stephen picked up the relic, was it automatically put into the node's reliquary, or is this something the player does when they return to the node? We'll start there.
Okay, they're talking about who picked up the relic. They're talking about the firebrand egg.
Yeah,
Is that what they're
Mhm.
referencing
think so,
to?
yes.
Okay. Yeah, so so the relic system is still having some outstanding feature work that's necessary. And there are different types of relics that can be acquired. Generally, the way that relics will be serviced is through our cargo system, which means that you will be required to either have a mule or a caravan, or later down the road, depending on the size of the relic, perhaps a merchant ship that can facilitate the dimensions of the relic, and it does conform to the spatial grid confinements of the cargo space in the caravan or any other cargo hold, that you will then have to bring back to the node. You can be interrupted through PvP with that transition if you want to. There might also be some relics upon completion of the quest or completion of the task that just automatically get granted to the node. It kind of depends on what the purpose of the relic is, right? There's a lot of common relics out there, and there's a lot of exclusive relics that need to be fought over or potentially stolen or, pursued if a node acquires it.
Okay. Now moving to the next thing, which is it would be interesting if another raid arrived, kind of like what you were basically saying, Stephen, from a different
Mhm.
node and was able to steal the relic if they killed the player carrying it,
Right.
whether they knew that there was one there or not. While
Yeah.
most of the majority of the relics will benefit all citizens of a node and their vassal nodes, will there be relics that only benefit patron guilds of a node and its vassal nodes?
Um, there aren't any planned right now that, excuse me, that just focus on benefiting those groups. However, there is flexibility in the relic system where you can assign different types of benefits to different types of groups. That is functionality that we want to preserve for relics, right? The types of buffs that they grant, whether it be zone of influence wide or down to just individual groups, I think is pretty expansive. And again, just to talk a little bit about like that concept of another group coming and trying to take the relic as you're bringing it back, those are the types of like player experiences that we want to provide tools for. We don't exactly want to curate what that's going to end up looking like, but we provide the environment in which, should other players want to do those things, whether it be through subterfuge, espionage, the spies that they might have, like that's the type of player dynamicism that we want to see in the sand park, that they have an opportunity to create those then player driven experiences.
Right, and the last part here. Lastly, if a found relic is not automatically sent to the reliquary, are there any benefits provided to the carrier while it is in their possession, possibly tempting them to keep it?
Um, Not right now. Not that that's planned. No, the relic isn't meant to be kept or hoarded by an individual, right? It is.
That's not the
It
design of it,
is.
yeah.
It's a yeah. It's a hot potato, right? You want to get that thing back to a safe space, and until you do that, you're in jeopardy.
If you are interested in something like that, maybe the artifact system is more something that you,
Sure.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that would
Absolutely.
entice you, yeah.
Yeah.
So there is a system that is kind of like that for those, and that is like one individual gets that item for a period of time, which is pretty
Yeah, but
exciting.
that's not that. Just to be clear, that's not relics.
No,
That
that's
is,
separate.
yeah, those are artifact level rarity items that
Hmm.
can drop within the world.
Yep, yep. And then the last reminder here is that we do have our next dev discussion is up. We are going to be wrapping it up here shortly. It is in regards to AOE form and function. So we would love to know. We have a bunch of different prompts there for you, so definitely go check it out. Quite a few, so I'm not going to list out all the questions that the development has, but go over there, tell us your thoughts, make sure that you pop those over there. Our next one is going to be about crowd control. So I know y'all have opinions about that. So definitely keep an eye out for that. We post those things on social. We make sure that we plastered it everywhere. So definitely tell us your thoughts and feedback on that front. And with that, we are going to swap over to our next topic here, which is our Alpha 2 guide. The first thing that we have on our list is actually we have a little hype video to get people excited.
Oh, do
Yeah.
we? Nice. Okay.
Obviously, again, the launch date is October 25th, 2024. We're almost there. We have 1 month on our end. We're prepping for it. I don't know if you two want to talk a little bit about
22 days,
how we're
baby.
prepping for that before we kind of show this video.
Prepping for, yeah, just right now. I mean, we are starting a 3-day NDA test this weekend
We're not
with
NDA
over
anymore. No, I'm just kidding.
9,000. I know, no, well,
It's still
you know
under
what I mean.
NDA. Yeah.
The over 9,000 Alpha 1 testers have been invited for this weekend's test. We have a test every weekend moving forward that we have planned. Obviously the team is working around the clock. It is a very, very tense, exciting, passionate, scary, and
All of the
exciting
above.
time. All of the above, all the emotions you can think of here at the studio. But yeah, I don't know, Bill, if you want to talk a little bit about prep and experience on the team right now for Alpha 2.
Yeah, it's just we're trying to get as much in as we can and see how it goes and react and be as nimble as we can to both continue to put in new content and new features, but react as well and fine tune things so that we're trying to make the game better every day.
Yeah, and just to give you guys like context, we completed our milestone 10. I believe it was on Monday. Was it on Monday?
What's
Was
that?
this Monday? No. It was it was Monday or Tuesday. Tuesday, sorry. And
We
we began
started
our
11
milestone
on
11.
Wednesday.
Right, we began our milestone 11, which our focus from a
What is milestone
project
10?
management perspective now has been moved the teams to Kanban as we kind of test and react, right? And every week, we're getting in, every day we're getting in, we're testing Alpha 2, we're finding the bugs that are most problematic, we're prioritizing them, we're triaging them. We have the teams that begin to work on them. We have, our cutoffs and deadlines for build processes as we take those builds to external testers, and we have our QA teams in Europe, and we have our QA teams here internally in the States. A lot of things are starting to move and transition. And then obviously from a team perspective, as we now move from more of this kind of DevOps to kind of split between live ops and DevOps at the same time, that transition can always be difficult, but it's one that the team is undergoing.
My team for sure is going to be changing up their schedule quite a bit because we want to be able to support those weekends and have 24/7 coverage from a community perspective. But there are people who, because obviously we're speaking dev speak, I know there are some people who have used these processes before in other industries, but there are people who are wondering what is Kanban versus, you didn't say what we were using before, but we were doing Agile before. I don't know if you can
Sure.
kind of talk a little bit about
Yeah,
Oh,
that.
yeah.
that's
Just
different
to
coding
give you
stuff,
guys
right?
a little
A
bit of
different
an
coding
understanding
language.
on the difference there is like, obviously you have these backlog boards, you have these Kanban boards where, based on priority, things will shift and move on that board at any given moment.
These
And
are tasks or
a
bugs,
particular,
things like that.
a particular developer is going to
Oh
go to
shit, I'm
that board
tripping.
and
I
find the
thought
highest
we were
prio
talking about
task and grab
coding
that
language.
next. As opposed to when you have these more agile methodologies, such as sprint planning, you have these velocities that the team can accomplish within any given sprint time frame, and then you pre-plan out all of the intended shippable completed items within that sprint for that sprint. So it's just kind of like it's a more test and react happy, friendly space to be with Kanban, and it kind of services our needs that we have for the studio and the product right now over the course of next month.
So hopefully that gives you a little bit. But before we get into things, we'll just play this little video and kind of take a look back at some of the content that we've been working on in the past and, building us up to this Alpha 2 and some of the amazing content creators who have been watching the content that we
Oh shit! I see my dogs in here. I fucked a lot of content creators from Ashes, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Every single month
They got some.
since
Oh, it's my
September, I've said
dog.
the exact
No one
same
else.
thing, and that is, this is the best live stream of the year. This is the best live stream of the year. I'm gonna come out and I'm just gonna say it was a 10 for me.
Is it me?
Because it's like, dang, like, Intrepid is cooking. And the reason that we're having this
Nah, bro. Why y'all let this pass through? Come on.
cooking feeling is because they have the great developers and the great team that won.
Work in progress, I guess, you know.
I'm trying not to be such a fangirl right now.
Let's go back here and see for
Like
sure.
I'm like
Nah,
wiping out
yeah.
boss
The
multiple
video
times
is
until you-
tripping.
Right now. I can't. I can probably speak for a lot of people when I'm so excited to see what it's going to be like. Take the first.
Come
step.
on, y'all.
Hello, we're back. There's definitely something weird going on with that video. I don't know why. It's not a laggy video, I promise you.
Okay, okay. I thought I was
Something's
tripping.
going on with not dropping frames, but
This
All
is
right.
the best live stream.
There
of
we
the
go.
year.
No one else.
This is the best live stream of the year. I'm gonna
I used to
come out-
watch him. I used to watch him on ESO, and it's just so cool how to see a lot of the ESO content creators moving the ashes of creation. Because if you play ESO, you know them. I don't want to blame it on the devs. I don't want to blame it on anybody, but that game just been going to shit for years. 4 years. Ever since they released Morrowind. Ever since they released Morrowind, it's just been getting worse and worse and worse every fucking year. But that's a hot take, though. That's a hot take. But hey, it's still a fun game, though. I still played the shit out of it. I played ESO on console, moved to PS4, moved to PC, then got to max rank on PC. Not max rank, got to champion rank. I got to PvP level. Leveled everything pretty much twice. And paid thousands of dollars for every fucking thing I have. Was it worth it? Probably not. But I had fun.
I'd say it was a 10 for me.
Because it's like, dang, like, Intrepid is cooking. And the reason that we're having this cooking feeling is because they have the great developers and the great team that they have on right now.
Guys, I'm trying not to be such a fangirl right now, but I'm gonna lose my. I can't. Oh my god. I can probably speak for a lot of people whenever I say I am so excited to see what it's going to be like. Take the first steps into it and really have that experience.
Alright, that felt like a movie. That felt like a movie, I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, so pretty exciting. Sorry about the initial. I don't know what happened. Really, all I did was like re-put it in the scene, so I really don't know, and I don't have any dropped frames, so.
I dig that hype video. That was cool. I like that we grabbed a lot of the content creators in the community and included them in that. That was awesome. Who did that?
Kyle Grossman put that together, and Mike made like the little graphic
Nice.
part at the end.
That's awesome.
But yeah.
Who are all those young-looking developers?
I know, right? I think that's from our previous like December little thing that we did when we did kind of a bunch of Q&A with a bunch of developers, which was really fun.
That's cool.
But yeah, trying to get people excited. So to kick things off, obviously the first things first is dates. You saw there that Alpha 2 starts October 25th, and this is for players who attained Alpha 2 access via a giveaway. So if you got any of the giveaways, if you notice, we did do a little giveaway a day or two, maybe yesterday. We will be doing more of those, so stay tuned for those type of things. They will come in little patches here and there. So if you got it through a giveaway, if you purchased a Kickstarter pack that has Alpha 2, or a Kickstarter add-on that has Alpha 2, or a pre-order pack or pre-order pack add-on that has Alpha 2, that will give you access on October 25th. If you purchased the first wave bundle, you will start on November 8th, 2024. And if you purchased a second wave bundle, that will be December 20th. And then if you purchased a third wave bundle, you'll be joining us in May 1st, 2025. So just kind of keeping in mind those dates. We will have an article that goes over kind of basically everything that we're going to go over today.
I'll be honest. Doing the 1, 2, 3 waves of purchasing into Alpha 2, that doesn't really make much sense to me. You just make it one price and just let them just come in all at once, bro. Because if I buy, what's the point of buying it Well, maybe in those very rare cases where you don't have the time, and you just said, you know what, I'll just buy the one in May. By that time, I should have enough time to play the game. Cool, but like I just don't see the point because it's only a $10 difference. I'm gonna pay $20 to play the game 6 months earlier. Then come on, bro. Why wouldn't I do that?
And that will be coming out probably next week with some more details. But yeah, that is the first bit, just to make sure everyone gets the dates right, knows when those are. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask us. We are always willing to answer those as we move forward. The next thing is kind of just talking a little bit about Alpha 2 and what people can expect. And I think before we do that, we're going to play a little Guide to Alpha 2 video. And hopefully this one doesn't lag when I hit play. So we will play through that, and then we'll come back and we'll be talking a little bit more about the features, showing off the map, as well as some of the archetype abilities and things of that sort. So we'll see you all in a short bit. Hello, adventurer. Welcome to Ashes of Creation Alpha 2, where the world of Vera is yours to explore.
This Star Wars as opening.
Ashes of Creation Alpha 2 is an important early testing phase, which will be continually updating. As a participant, your journey will help shape the game's future through providing feedback and hunting down bugs to help us refine the world of Vera. When you first step through the portal, you'll begin your journey across various regions. One of these is the city of Lionhold, a Kalar military outpost. It's the launch point for their efforts to reclaim their ancestral home. Here, you'll meet the locals and embark on countless quests and adventures. As you continue your journey through Vera, you'll discover the Citadel of the Steel Bloom, once the proud headquarters of the Order of the Steel Bloom. Now it's abandoned and overrun by mercenary bandits. Treasures, dangers, and untold stories await. You may be wondering, how will I travel to all of these places? Don't worry, adventurer. There are so many ways to explore Vera, including a variety of mounts to carry you across vast landscapes, through the dense forest, and over rugged mountains to reach your destinations. Nodes are a major part of our journey, offering you choices that will shape the world. Will you join the node of Winstead or ally with the city of Miralith? Each decision shapes the world, and the node you choose will grow, thrive, and evolve based on your contributions. What are those contributions, you ask? You can help expand your node by trading, crafting, and helping it grow into a prosperous city. You can fight creatures, complete quests, participate in events, commissions, and mayoral commissions, node wars, and of course, gathering. Throughout your journey, you'll find valuable resources in the wild, from ores to herbs to lumber. Each resource plays a vital role in the development of both your node and your character. Caravans are another way to aid your node. Transporting vital goods is essential for your new home's development. But be wary. Other players may seek to claim your cargo.
They
for
swim hella
themselves.
fast in this game. I just realized that. They do swim hella fast.
Caravans aren't the only place where you'll face off against other players. Don your equipment and prepare for node wars, where skill, strategy, powerful gear, and teamwork will determine victory or defeat. Travel to Oakenbane Keep to challenge the formidable beasts lurking within. Not all threats are ordinary. Deep in the wild, Tumok, the one-eyed Cyclops, awaits. Beware, he doesn't take kindly to intruders. The world of Vera is alive and ever-changing, shaped by your choices. So prepare yourself, adventurer. Alpha 2 is just the beginning. The journey awaits. Will you rise to the challenge?
All right, that was cool. That was cool. I'm not gonna lie, that was cool.
Well, it seems like people liked the video. Thanks for the nice comments about my narration.
I was digging the narration. That was great.
Yeah, Kyle wrote the script and put the video together, and obviously we took some of our footage over the time frame as well. So thank you to, I believe, I think most of those were like our PI folks who joined us. So appreciate you guys helping us capture some of that footage. But yeah, we've been working towards this. This is everything that you've been seeing is this content that you're going to be playing. So I think some people are like, hey, we've seen some of this stuff before. It's like, yeah, because that's
Right.
what we've been building, and now you get to experience it. And obviously, our NDA testers have been already experiencing a lot of that, helping us work out the bugs. A lot of what we're working out on that front is more this stability side of things. So it is the queuing system, which is not the most fun stuff to test, the stress testing of the realms and the server workers and things like that. And obviously, once we go into October 25th, the main key thing that we're trying to test then is going to be that content that we have there and finding all those bugs. And we know it's buggy. That's the whole point of this. So we just want to make it clear that alpha is not a game. It is a testing phase, and there are going to be bugs. There are going to be a lot of bugs, and we would love for you to help us hunt those down. We're going to have a system in game that you can /bug and bug those things for us. We will also have feedback forums. We'll have surveys that will be going out to users and all kinds of ways that we can iterate on feedback. We've been doing focus groups as well, so you may see some of those things come up, and you may be personally invited to those based on your gameplay, because we will be looking at like specific people's accounts that make sense for the type of feedback we're looking for. So it's going to be a very interesting process, something that you maybe haven't experienced from other games before, where you're really like sitting with the developers and giving us your thoughts, and we're consuming that.
Yeah. We had some great focus groups actually that you're talking about, Margaret, with some of the NDA testers over the course of the last few weeks that the community team put together, which the developers obviously got to sit in and kind of hear directly from players as they were playing particular systems or classes or whatever. And are planning to continue doing those as Alpha 2 progresses, as new systems come online, as new features and content gets introduced. Right. This is the type of rapport that we want to build with the community from a development perspective, so that we can most accurately articulate what players are looking for, the experiences that they enjoy, the experiences that they didn't enjoy. And I think a lot of times, when you get into those types of conversations, you can start moving into the realm of like solution crafting from a player perspective. And I will say that when we talk about the types of feedback that are most beneficial for us as a development team, really what we're looking to hear from players is your experience, not so much the types of solutions that you or others might think can apply to the situation, but rather what was it about a particular system or piece of content that you enjoyed? Why did you enjoy it? Why did you not enjoy it? Right? Kind of elaborate on the player experience aspect. And then we take that puzzle and we start incorporating either the complexities and how it relates to many other systems and how we can address those experiences or expand upon them. Those are the best ways to kind of, elicit, I think, proper feedback from the community. And I think that the community's been doing a great job with that thus far, right? We have collected a lot of really actionable, good pieces of feedback over the course of our normal monthly developer update. Lawless territories will be settled. And by settled, what
I don't know if you want to go into any more detail about open world PvP. I feel like it's pretty.
No,
Oh
so
yeah,
I
let's
think
hear
you
this.
hit on
Let's
it.
hear this.
Nodes. We often say, internally, nodes are the game, right? They are
So many
the
features attached to it too, and systems. So
they are the core internal structure that everything else hangs off of, right?
And speaking of those things that hang off of it, obviously we will have open world PvP. Stephen talked about a couple of the lawless zone areas. I don't know if you want to go into any more detail about open world PvP. I feel like it's pretty straightforward, but
it is straightforward, but given that we're kind of concising as much as we can into kind of this guide concept with this particular live stream, I'll kind of cover those points a little bit more. When the game launches, we have these concepts of open seas. And right now, the lawless territories are kind of serving that purpose where, you have certain drop rates for particular types of materials that are going to be kind of focused more around later game progression that players will vie for in those locations. Now, obviously, given that players can drop resources on death, specifically and especially during PvP, while you're within these lawless territories, you're going to be emulating that kind of game launch feature, which is the open seas, that these are open spaces for PvP. So you're entering this territory knowing that PvP is possible at any given time without repercussion. This is an opt-in by the player. And so when you enter those zones, you're going to be flagged for PvP immediately, but there's going to be high-end monsters there to fight. There's going to be high-end resources there to gather, and there's going to be high-end turn-in destination that's available for those caravans that I was talking about as well. Now, as we progress beyond phase 1 into phase 2 and into phase 3, those lawless territories will be settled. And by settled, what I mean is that content will expand to include them, and the lawless territories will change to be then the next territories that we are planning to update and bring in content within, right? So it's going to kind of
Okay.
fan out as
Like
Alpha 2
spreadings.
progresses. Correct,
Yes.
yes.
That's
Pushing the
cool. That's
border of
cool.
the frontier, right? It's
Yeah, I love that. The pushing the border of the frontier is a perfect analogy. I
Until
mean,
it goes to the
because
ocean.
essentially that's what it is, right? You can view alpha as almost a live development settling of the world of Vera, right? As the content pushes the boundaries, as that progression occurs, you know, these territories are getting unlocked.
And reminder again how those updates will be happening every 3 weeks. We'll have like our smaller updates, and then every 6 weeks we'll like alternating them. We'll have our bigger updates, which will have bigger features. So keeping that in mind as we move forward. Obviously, PvP is there for folks who love PvP, but not everybody is a PvP fan. Obviously, we are a PvX game, so if you don't like PvP, like that is a part of our product. So you're going to need friends if that's not your thing. But we do have a lot of PvE content, including questing, dungeons, and raids. Obviously, we'll have less raids to start with, but as we expand, we'll have more of those. And those are kind of like world bosses at the current moment, but they may change to be have some raid bosses in those dungeons and things like that as we expand. But to start with, there will be those. And I don't know if you guys want to talk a little bit about the PvE content that is going to be available. Obviously, some of that is listed here on the map as well for folks.
Yeah, I can't really see that map. It's very small. But I mean, we can go through, you know, obviously from a hunting grounds perspective, right? In the Riverlands proper, in the non-lawless territories, those PvE players are then governed by our flagging system, which does contain obviously incentives. Excuse me. It does contain deterrence for players to openly flag and or kill non-flag players. So that should be an experience that is relatively mitigated through the flagging system. If it's not, we'll do some tuning work there in order to adjust it as is necessary, right? This is something that during Alpha 1 we had to kind of interject and I think play with it because of the test setting scenario where people felt like there was nothing to lose if they lost their character or bricked their character through the flagging system. So we'll have some tuning that we might do that's temporary for Alpha 2 in order to achieve that goal. But generally, when you talk about the PvE encounters, you know, obviously there's pocket dungeons that we've talked about. There's a grand dungeon in Carfin where groups are going to be experiencing kind of killing monsters in order to either acquire loot or to progress their character. There's also a lot of artisanship systems that are going to be in place, including many professions that have resources to interact with, recipes to attain, so that you can supply the player-driven economy that's very important and build the components for those caravans as well. World bosses, as Margaret talked about, those are kind of raid-based content where you're going to have to bring a lot of friends with you in order to either overcome, you know, the Cyclops that is Tumok or Firebrand or the Scorpion in the lawless Sandsquall Desert, right? And as more raid bosses and raid encounters come online, those are going to be scenarios where you're going to need some PvE expertise in order to accomplish the goals there.
And obviously, the big thing or the next thing here is lots of points of interest. We have smaller points of interest, bigger ones. We've laid them out on the map in quite a different variety of spaces. So definitely go check those places out. Some of those are things that Stephen has already mentioned because they have other things going on in them as well. We do have mounts. There will be a variety of mounts. There will be quest lines for you guys to complete to try to get those mounts. So definitely go get yourself a mount because walking takes time. You will be walking for a long time if you don't get a mount. But the world is quite big already, and obviously this is only the beginning. We are only in alpha 2. We still have so much more of the world to build for you guys, which, like we've talked about before, kind of you'll be progressively seeing that stuff throughout the months.
And I think that's a good point about
Yeah.
Alpha 2 as well, as far as the information that we're trying to get out of this is like we need to know again like what to lean into and what to not. So we need to know what parts of this are working before we build more, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because a lot of those
we
things
need to
are
validate.
duplicatable.
Yeah, we need to validate that direction, right?
Yep.
And I think, that obviously is the most unique nature of how we're doing this differently than other projects, is essentially that we're relying on the players to have this early access and in an open and transparent manner, right, with bugs and everything and unfinished content and everything, so that we can make sure that what we are intending to continue doing is on the right path of what players want. And that's why you guys are so integral to that process.
Yes, and people are asking if there's an RP walk. Yes, right now that is linked to the period button. You just hit that, and you'll see us
Oh, there's
using it
definitely.
actually in the. We've used it in many videos for walking through areas. The next thing here is I'm going to kind of group these up together: gathering,
Sure.
processing, and crafting. There will be artisanship stuff that you can do. All of those things are available. You can hop in, you can play through them. They are in their first phase, right? So it's a little bit more simplified crafting. But I say simplified, but it's still a lot of
Yeah.
steps and processes to get
Yeah.
through things.
Yeah.
But there will be more interactive, I guess is the better word for it, processes as we move forward. But in the initial phases, all of the artisanship is all there, right? I don't think there's any that we're missing.
All of the
except
base
for
professions are present.
animal husbandry.
At
And
the start, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's correct. But all of the base professions are there. The tools to acquire all the gathering resources are present. I think there's some 700 item recipes that are in the game currently. I will say that right now the current balance of like item creation and artisanship progression is a very difficult path to walk.
Yeah.
Which some people might really like because then when you achieve that thing, it's going to be really difficult for others to achieve it. So you can kind of corner that market, play the maestro, game kind of thing. But obviously, that's also an aspect that we're looking to get feedback on as well.
Yeah, I think our focus actually this weekend's test is econ related and artisan related. So hopefully we will have some iterations before you guys even get in on October 25th. But those will all be there. I don't know if there's anything else you want to add on to that, Bill, in regards to gathering, processing, and crafting.
Yeah, I mean it's one of the core loops of the game. It's another thing that's foundational and leads into how nodes develop, how your character progresses, what the gear is that you have to do your adventuring. So it's a critical part of the game, and that loop is there. And like Steven says, or like you suggested, like I wouldn't call it simple, like it's right
Yeah,
now,
I was like,
right
I
now,
said simple, and then I regretted that immediately because I was like,
yeah,
it is simple in the concept of what you're doing.
Yeah,
but
It's
it is
simple in
not.
the sense of what it will become, but
yeah,
for what it's at now, it's still comparatively to the other games
yeah,
we probably experienced, not
yeah,
simple.
Yeah.
yeah. It's a yeah. There's a lot there to get lost in.
Yeah.
All right. And kind of the last feature that we want to make sure that we mention to you all is caravans. So that is going to be the next big feature that you're going to be seeing in Alpha 2. And I don't know how much detail we want to go into that. But obviously, you saw some footage from from our previous live streams where we featured caravans. But they will play a big role in how you, work with your node as well.
Yeah, I mean, caravans are one of the primary methods of ensuring that nodes have the supplies they need to build the buildings they need to build so that they can specialize. They're also the primary method by which players can multiply their wealth because wealth in our game is acquired through glint. which gets traded in for commodities that can then be either sold directly to the vendor at the node you're at, or can be transported through the caravan system to other nodes for a multiple return. And that I think is going to separate the mice from men in the game with regards to the economic gameplay. Those who can successfully trade those caravans across long distances are going to see obviously a significant amount of wealth, more so than their counterparts, and be able to control certain markets. That's something that I think is very interesting. But caravans have some unique componentized aspects to them that allow for players to be a little sneaky with them. So you don't always need a massive raid to transport a caravan correctly, right? You can do these things at any given time as well, and you can take unique and bespoke routes so that other players can't see them. These are things that I think create a very kind of anxiety filled gameplay loop, which can be a lot of fun for people. You don't want to always experience that all the time, but the moments you do are going to be really tense moments that create those feelings that Bill was talking about earlier with him and McPhee, or that Margaret and I have experienced in the raids that we've run. Right, these are the interesting, fun, and dynamic gameplay experiences.
Yeah, this is the PVX, right? It's you know it's the highest risk versus reward, right? You're saying yes, you can be wealthy, but you better be smart and you better have your friends, because you're vulnerable too. Um, and yeah, this whole large scale mercantile game loop is I think something that's I'm personally super excited about, and is interesting, and I want to see how it plays out, and how we can make it better.
And obviously, the next big thing is going to be our archetypes. There will be many, many archetypes for you all to experience. The rogue and summoner will be coming in future updates, but we will have the bard, cleric, fighter, mage, ranger, and tank archetypes for you, at least the primary archetypes. And as we've noted, that the secondary
Damn, that
augments
party
and
has hella
secondary
abilities.
archetypes will start coming online more in phase 3. But we will have a little cheat sheet here with some abilities. The skill trees are pretty crazy for each of these, so you'll definitely want to kind of check them out, maybe play different archetypes, see which one really plays to the style that you want. You can build your character out in a variety of different ways, which is really exciting. So we hope that you guys have fun with it and give us lots of feedback.
Yeah, this is a very important aspect. Obviously, combat is the most moment to moment interacted system within the game, right? This is something that obviously there's a lot of room for us to iterate upon, particularly as it relates to the ways that we've constructed these archetypes. It's not just about the individual abilities and what those abilities do. It's also about, like, when do those abilities come online? How many skill points does it cost to access those abilities? What's the proposition cost between activating this ability or taking this passive with the points that I have distributed? Like, there's a lot that goes into, and then obviously the rock paper scissors.
They are pretty immense and pretty expansive. So expansive that we were thinking about how we would put them on a board, kind of like the abilities, and it was just too much content to put on a board for you guys. But we do want to let you know that mace, short bow, long bow, one-handed sword, two-handed sword, and wand and book will all have full skill trees for you guys to play around with, which are pretty
At the
awesome
start.
at the start.
Yeah, at the start of phase 1.
And then we will add more as we go forward. But for those of you who are looking at what we had talked about would be in phase 1, these are the ones that will be at the start of phase 1.
Yeah.
And then there'll be more that will come out.
There's a lot of weapons that are currently like half baked right now beyond this, that will be pretty quickly joining in phase 2.
Yeah.
I need my broken spear back.
I know, your broken spear. Oh my gosh. That was crazy.
I think with that, we
well, that's actually a funny little story about that.
Yeah, just in recent round of testing, we had a spear prematurely in the game that was devastating.
It was inaccurately balanced to a previous kind of
yes. Yes, you could basically scoop up dozens of monsters and melee them to death in seconds. It was fun. Fun while it lasted.
And the spear will be back. Don't worry, guys. We will have a variety of abilities. I know people are asking about staff and all these other ones. like we said, the other weapon skill trees will come online later. The
Yep.
skill the trees are some of the weapons you will find in the world, but they may just not have skill trees, or they may be sharing skill trees and things like that. So just keep that in mind as you're moving forward. And we will let you know when those skill trees are up, and they'll be part of patch notes. They'll be part of our preview that we do whenever we go over what the upcoming content is as well. And with that, we do have a little tour that Stephen and Bill and I did. I'm a little ashamed because we
Don't
had a
you
little
dare
jumping
let
puzzle.
the no, don't preface the jumping puzzle.
No, it's
Let
Yeah.
him just
so
let him
bad.
let it.
Hey, I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Give me 1 second. Alrighty, we are back.
Shower over them
Okay,
as they watch
okay.
you fail the
Yeah.
jumping puzzle
No.
over and over.
Yeah.
I'm so
No.
sorry.
I'm the one who's embarrassed about the jumping
I'm
puzzle.
very
So
embarrassed.
good.
Um,
It's so
but we
good.
do have one more video for you. We wanted to kind of give you a guide through the portal as well as Linehold.
Hold up.
We haven't actually like showed you guys kind of like that first experience that you have as a player. So we'll show you that, and then we'll be right back.
Yeah, and just to preface this, obviously, what we're showing here is giving you guys some insight into the starting area. into Lionhold, which is kind of the forward operating base of the Kalar Empire as they've moved into Vera. This is a large city. This is the Aelan capital in Vera, and obviously not all of it is completed yet. There's a lot of plans for us to expand the crypts and dungeons underneath the Aelan capital city so that players can return to those as nodes progress and those areas become unlocked and become opened up again. But we thought we've never shown you guys this, and a lot of players are experiencing this right now. A lot of testers are experiencing this right now in our Alpha 2 NDA testing. So we're going to give you a little walkthrough and give you an idea of what it's going to feel like on day one to log into Vera.
All right. See you on the flip side.
Let's get it.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another day in Vera, and we have an exciting showcase for you today. I am joined by two glorious people here at Intrepid Studios. First and foremost, our Director of Communication, Margaret Crone. Margaret, how are you doing?
Hopefully not gonna have a baby on the stream, but otherwise I'm doing good.
Wait, what if you do have the baby on stream? What if you're having the baby right now on stream while we're playing this? That would be crazy.
Oh my
That
god.
would be wild. Don't ban us, Twitch.
And then, of course, we have our glorious Director of Design, Bill Trost. Bill, for the first time, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. This is awesome. Get to check out the Ayla ruins here.
Yes,
Excited.
I know.
The first time Bill's been on the stream.
I know, it's very exciting, and right before the start of Phase 1 for Alpha 2, which, as many of you know, starts at the end of next month, the end of October. And as Bill said, we are, for the first time, taking a look at the Aelan ruins. And this is, if you could not tell by the level 1 super basic appearance that we are in the starting portal area. This is actually where testers for the first time will be loading into the Riverlands, into Vera. This is a massive space, and obviously for the...
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought the place you start out. I know this is the Alpha 2, but when the game comes out officially, or when maybe beta comes out, I thought what race you choose is where you spawn. But I'm not sure though. I thought I heard that before.
For those of you who are aware of the kind of origin stories of Vera and why players are returning here, this is the home of our ancestors, and we are returning as settlers to repopulate Vera. And as part of this testing process, there's a lot of space here to cover, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Aelan ruins, the Lionhold starting area that's just off of the trodden path of Aelan ruins, along with some additional features that we have implemented, such as some voiceover work that we're going to take a look at here in a little bit, and talk about our Fatui systems and kind of what's expected out of our testers come this phase 1 of Alpha 2. But let's talk about this space. What are players doing when they return to this space, Bill? Talk to me about this kind of scene here. It's beautiful. It looks great.
Sure. Players are coming back home to Vera from Sanctus. After many years. We're the latest wave of folks coming through. We're not the first. And you can see there's some folks who have preceded us about this area, and talking to them, you can get a little bit of insight into their story, and sometimes what brought them here, or what their plans are now that they're here on Vera.
That's cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of families that have made it through. Some drama between them as well, which is exciting. But the area is so pretty, and thinking about this being once a palace where
this used to be
is crazy.
Yeah, this used to be like a seat of power, and Ayla was a capital of the
Aelan Empire. Yeah. I see Bill.
Kalar Empire, right?
Yeah,
Alien Empire.
yeah,
Excuse me.
absolutely. Yeah, I see that there's obviously this set is, these large structures. I think Brianna worked on this set for the Aelan Ruins, and people will see this, as you said, the Aelan Empire was a large, vast territory that incorporated a big portion of the Riverlands, and you're going to see part of these ruin-like structures throughout the Riverlands as a whole. But I see there's a gate watcher here, Pritchard, and I see that we have.
I'm not gonna lie. One thing I'm very dissatisfied with. I'm not really. I really don't care that much, but like it's just been bugging me how you only have the Riverlands, like for Alpha 2. It's like, man, I want that big ass map, bro, where you can go across the water and stuff. I understand, open season's not ready and all that other stuff, but that's a big bug to me. Cause I'm just like, I understand it's a huge game, so you have your time. But damn, they're really taking their time. But hey, it is what it is.
Kind of this icon that lives atop the nameplate here.
Quest giver icon.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that's how we're indicating, somebody who has a quest for you or is by that little icon and the shimmer on their nameplate.
The shimmer, yeah, I like that. Okay, let's take it. Let's chat with this person, see what we hear.
Thank the gods you've arrived safely.
Oh, okay, I'm digging it. That's not too bad. Let's see.
Disorientation upon arrival to the world of Vera is natural.
I'm sorry, I just have to clap. Because, bro, I thought that we were not gonna get voiced quest lines. Thank you for giving us voice quest lines, because, bro, I was gonna skip through all this. I was not gonna pay attention to none of that. Hold on, let me turn this down a little bit. Because ain't no way, bro. Because, yeah, bro, I was not gonna be listening to that. You crazy. You're crazy. Crazy. Alright, let's get it.
You're feeling the flow of
I like this. So, okay, so those of you out there who, in the past you've asked about, is Intrepid taking a look at different AI solutions for some systems in the game? And this is one of those systems, VoiceOver, where we have begun implementation. Obviously, this is not fully polished. It doesn't have the right inflections in different spaces and some of the pauses that it needs, but it is a very capable system that will be delivering us some really good polished VO, and we are sourcing those voices in-house internally with our development team, which I think is a really cool thing to do. Obviously, it gives us a personal space where people who've worked to build this game get to actually exist in the game too. I think it's super cool, and it sounds not too bad so far for the initial implementation.
essence is the very energy of creation.
When I back away, I kind of like the attenuation. She's still talking as I run around. So this essence that players are experiencing, that's the kind of source of how they are able to manifest these, these more fantastical abilities, including the magic. So what is she doing here? She's talking to me about the essence and that they're having a goblin problem in the city. We haven't seen any goblins quite yet. So she gives me a medallion. Let me take a look. Okay. All right. Very cool. So we just adopted this quest. This is the introductory quest. She gave me a medallion. Bill, do you want to talk to us a little bit about this Fatui system?
Sure. We're building what we like to call, a sand park here in Ashes, and that Fatui system is part of that. It's a lot of it is triggered off of first-time events. So rather than like a really guided tutorial, it's more based off what you're doing in the world and the first time you encounter something. So this is the first time that you've got an item into your inventory, so it's prompting you, hey, you should check out your inventory. Here's how you open your inventory, and we're gonna do a lot of things like that to onboard new players, let them know how to play, but not put you on rails.
Yeah, absolutely. And I see here that the inventory item it gave me was this gateway medallion, which has an interesting little piece of lore there, commemorates the reopening of the Divine Gateways and the members of the Light Pact who blazed the trail from Sanctus back to Vera, a proof of lawful entry into Vera. And without diving into what unlawful entry into Vera sounds like, this is a great first item because obviously it's kind of like your passport in Vera as a citizen of this world. And each of the cultures or races will have their own unique identifying, piece of inventory space item that you carry with you. It's cool. I like it. All right. Well, let's take a look outside here. We'll move out. Ooh.
Grab a weapon here on our way out.
Oh, oh yeah, that's right. Let me go grab weapon. Hold on. Are there there's just weapons around here, right? That we can
There's some spare weapons laying around you can pick up.
Let me see here. Oh, I got a splintered longbow. Okay.
Oh,
I
there
think
it
I'll
is.
stick with the
Rusty
scepter.
scepter.
Yep, I got myself a rusty longsword.
All right, very nice. Ooh, what is that?
Yeah, that should look nice. That should look nice.
Oh my gosh, that thing is huge.
That is the dead heartwood.
That is the dead heartwood. I don't think players have seen the heartwood before. Can we talk a little bit about it?
Sure. The heartwood trees are tap into the very essence and form a network of essence within Vera. This one's obviously not doing so well. Probably precipitated the fall here of Ayla. But you'll see these throughout the world, and you'll see them especially in nodes, and as nodes progress, as they begin to prosper, the tree itself will reflect that.
That's awesome. That looks
And
great.
rumor has it they were a gift from the goddess of creation.
Ooh, the goddess of creation herself. Yeah, I can see her handiwork there in the center. Very cool. Very nice. This space, the Aelan Ruins, the ancient capital of the Aelan Empire, it is rather large. I mean, obviously we can see some perspective of that from this venue, but I bet if we go actually back inside here, we might be able to get on top of the ceiling. I saw there were some entrances over there and some staircases to the side. Let me see if there is
some perspective.
Yeah, get better perspective of the city because it is a massive space.
Look out. I think I did see some goblins prowling around up there earlier.
Ooh, I think you're right. I see a goblin digger. Let's take a look at this guy. Okay, there we go. I like the adaptive battle music. Very cool. This is some of Enon Zur's work. Oh, look at this beautiful lighting, too. This looks great.
You didn't loot the little pile.
Oh, there's a pile there. Oh, what is in here?
Loot goblins,
a shard of,
not looting.
A shard of glass. That's awesome. There's some more over here. A goblin.
They're just taking random stuff and
an ancient bone.
Rubble.
Let's kill these guys. Gosh, just looking outside, this place is huge. Uh-oh. There's a breakage in the bridge.
Yeah, I'm not good at those things.
Oh, did we have a little jumping puzzle here we gotta get past? Oh no. Alright, Margaret, you're first. You're preggers, you should be fine. Oh no!
The bane of every adventurer.
Oh no. Good luck. There you go, gosh. Okay, alright. Here, I can't fail here. If I make this, I'm king of the stairs. Oh, I made it! Oh, I'm a literal golden god.
Those stairs.
Oh, it's so good. Ooh, this looks beautiful up here. Look at that rose window treatment. Let me see. I'll watch you guys from this perspective.
Oh, you can take them on the tour.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Don't fall.
I almost fell.
Oh no.
Oh my god. Bill? Okay, hold on. Wait, come on. I need to do that. I got you. Why is that? Big space. Careful up here. There's some areas you can fall down. But look at this space. This is a massive city. And I know we have a lot planned when it comes to
Oh, I made it.
oh, you did? Good job. As a place that players actually can return to and explore and delve deeper into some of the crypts and dungeons that lay beneath the Aelan capital.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yes. There are some pretty cool areas around here, and some events that spawn as well.
Oh yeah, it's looking great. I think I'm looking at one of the events actually over here.
Yeah. These guys are like chucking
Oh, yeah.
stuff out of the ground.
The goblins are throwing down rocks and whatnot at the guards, I think, down here. That's cool. That's super cool. I love the waterfalls too, off of the floating vistas. Let me see if I can get up at the very top.
Oh my
Look at
This
this.
man is still stuck at the stairs. I'm dead.
Beautiful.
That man is still stuck at the stairs.
I love it. Super cool. Very cool. So, okay, Bill, did you ever make it up the
I still have
stairs?
not made it up the stairs.
He's still trying. Lord has it, he's still trying.
Oh my God, you're
22
killing me.
years later.
You are killing me. Oh, it's so good. Here, we'll come back down to you. Hold on. We're gonna come back
Looks sad.
down.
We
We're
do have
coming
a
back
quest to kind of get rid of some of these sickly goblins
Oh,
who
yeah.
apparently have a disease. Hasn't been affecting anybody else, but a few of the folks down here are a little concerned.
Yeah, I see that. I see we have an optional objective. It says the Gateway Sentry has asked me to slay some sickly goblins, and I think we saw some actually out here to the right. Let's see if we can actually slay them.
Yeah, there's some guards out here fighting the good fight, defending it against all these sick goblins.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Very nice. Now, obviously, players, when they first enter into Vera, right, they're going to be looking to make their way out of the portal ruins and down into the Lionhold base camp. And this isn't the only route out through this starting area. There's actually another path that is still pending some development, but it's called Samia's Hope. And that is the Lionhold equivalent, but on the Valoon side.
Yeah, so players will have a choice as to kind of which way they want to go right off the bat.
Let me see. Here we go.
Man, you did that much damage, bro.
Alright. Is this goblin? This goblin is having some trouble.
Did you kill enough goblins?
You know, I'm trying to kill these goblins. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Okay, we've done it. Killed some of those goblins there.
I've killed plenty of goblins.
There's a lot of goblins here, actually. Alright, what do we have down here? Oh, this is looking great. This is beautiful.
Lions holding up a bridge.
Should we go down the trodden path or kind of here?
Lion hold.
Lion hold. Should we go kind of this direction?
Lion Guard Monmouth says we should hurry on to Lionhold.
Where is I'm kind of looking around over here. Oh, here we go. There's a dude here.
Zoran.
There's a little path here. Oh yeah, you guys are further ahead than I am.
Let's talk to him. Okay. I am no lowly farmer. So if I give him a gold, he'll give me a treasure map? Do I even have a gold to give him?
I don't know, he gave me a treasure map, so I must have had a gold.
Okay. Oh, the Court of Cloaks. Very nice. So they introduce you to one of the social organizations by giving you a treasure map. That's cool. Very nice. Okay. Let's go down here. I think Lion's Hold is just down here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, another person. A Scout Merrick. Mork.
Goblin Slayer.
I am the Goblin Slayer.
That's funny,
I
bro.
did
That
kill
reminds
one
me
of
of
the-
ESO. How
I
you
did
get the
kill
random ass
one
titles.
of the goblins. I showed no fear. And I do have the makings of a hero. Should I give him the medallion?
You trust him? What if he
Yeah,
steals it?
he looks reputable.
Well met, stranger. Here, take my medallion.
The one thing that is giving me
Oh, he gave it back, and he gave it as a rare medallion now. Let me take a look. Oh, very cool. Okay.
Shiny.
He shined my medallion. That's nice. Thank you, Scout Morik, for polishing the medallion.
appreciate it.
Very appreciated.
Beautiful. This is a pretty vista right here.
Is it? Oh, I
Mhm.
see. We're coming across. It looks like the entrance. Ah, we've done it.
We've made it to the gateway.
We made it to Lionhold. This is beautiful. I'm digging this.
But there are 2 lions holding.
Yeah, why isn't it Lion's Hold? So now, obviously, Lionhold is kind of a base of operations for players within Alpha 2.
Yep.
And this is going to introduce a lot of people to different systems. Bill, do you want to talk to us a little bit about, those introductory systems and kind of how long players are expected to remain in Lionhold?
Sure, you'll get your first several levels by doing the various things that you can discover here in Lionhold. Again, like said, it's it's a sand park, so it's kind of there's no specific order you need to do things, but there's quests to teach you how to craft, how to harvest. It'll expose you to what we're calling the commission system. There's a guy who can teach you about storage and how to make use of that. There's a lot of things to discover here in Lionhold.
It's awesome. I'm just kind of walking around, taking a look, taking it all in. I assume that as part of kind of players' expectations, not just with the systems introduction in Lionhold, but also kind of the ability to interact with artisanship. There's some, looks like, novice stonemasonry bench here. Oh, I see we got a fatui as well. Some of the crafting systems. The other thing I noticed is that obviously we want to introduce players to the POIs within the Riverlands. This is going to be kind of the jumping off point for a lot of those quests and commissions that take you out into the Riverland space.
Totally. Captain Eudoxia here is kind of the head honcho of Lionhold and will facilitate a lot of those quests and adventures.
She's the lieutenant of the 7th Lance, which is an element of the Kalar Empire's army.
It says I should find a Kalar official. Where is a Kalar official?
Ooh, there's
Elric over here.
Right here.
Kalar. Or I think there's
And
another
then
one, and there's Talahad up here. Yeah, I think I'll go talk to Talahad.
This one?
You're a new face around here. Welcome. Excellent. Let it be known that even as we struggle
Nice,
to
okay.
foothold
I
here,
got a novice
our
health salve.
glorious empire
And some dull glint.
still cares for its intrepid adventurers.
Oh, it's Intrepid Adventurers. That was awesome.
Yeah, and if you can talk to him more, he'll tell you a little bit more about learning to trade, about the goblins that we were fighting, and about the commission board as well.
Now, obviously, because we're in Alpha 2, or we're entering Alpha 2, there's going to be a lot of bugs, a lot of still things that need to be polished, content that's going to be implemented. But obviously, that's why Alpha 2 has been broken up into phases, Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3. We've gone over kind of what is expected within those.
You're a newcomer, eh?
I'm digging this, dude.
There's no better way to find your feet than a commission.
The Herald.
The Herald.
All jobs the townsfolk around the outpost need doing. They bring them to me, and I post them on the board. Used to do 'em myself when I was a spry young soldier. This was back on.
Did you grab some stuff off
Okay, let's take a look at the
It's
sites.
Mission more interesting and more rewarding by you know picking up the various types of commissions that you can get, and then going out in the wilderness and finishing them. You can actually complete them in the field and get the rewards. So it's a very low friction play style.
I wonder how many people we're going to see fall from that bridge. Like, I see the holes in it.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
It's pretty awesome.
You can go up on that bridge too.
Ooh.
Like, it's quite an adventure to get up there, but
I see there's also a vendor here that has some basic items and rations and whatnot. So there's also kind of a checkpoint for players to come back and sell things that they acquire out in the world. This is obviously important because you never know when a node is going to be available or how close that node is. So having some basic, vendor interaction here, I think is good.
Yeah. So we got some glint for it by completing that quest, and this vendor will actually convert your glint into gold if you sell it to him.
Oh yeah. Let me do that. Actually.
Well, copper. Excuse me, I overspoke.
Oh my gosh, it's only 2 coppers worth.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't have enough money. Need to farm stuff.
And this is obviously, it gives you some basic access to cargo and material storage here as well at the warehouse clerk.
Yep. Yeah, you'll notice as you go out harvesting, your packs fill up pretty quickly. So you'll come back into town to store some things before you gather enough that you want to start your processing section, or get fully dive into the crafting loops.
You can also get bigger bags too, so that helps.
That is true.
And there's the mail system.
All right, we got the mail system working, so when we have to send out some system messages or mail between players, that's working. Let's see, we have a trades manager.
I like the alchemy
Strong
bench.
enough to work a
It's
trade,
pretty.
But have you the brains for it? That's what we like hearing. Hold
Big
a moment.
cauldron.
Won't be enough. Just
Yeah, the trade managers are who you'll learn the initial artisanship.
I see so those are going to be the initial artisanship profession NPCs.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll send you out to a few different POI camps that are kind of nearby. This thing's
So
floating.
they'll teach you how to craft some tools, how to harvest, how to process the materials that you gather, and eventually craft them into gear and things that other players will want.
Somebody's bewitched the commission board for artisanship. It's floating.
It was me.
Should I slash bug this? Oh, it's so good.
I'm pretty sure they're aware.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's fixed on another build.
This is cool. I'm digging the interiors places. Alright, very cool. Do we want to talk a little bit about what we expect of our testers entering into phase 1? I know we talked a little bit about, obviously, these bugs that you're going to see, the polish and whatnot. Margaret, talk to us a little bit about, one, how tests have been going. I think we have upcoming of 9,000 testers that have been invited into the next A2 spot test.
Yeah, we've been doing some extensive tests. Some of them have been short, quick, kind of grabbing people to help us hop into the game and either doing queuing testing or stress testing things, which are not the most fun ones, but the fun ones, we've definitely had some like 3-day weekend ones where we've had people kind of really trying to level up nodes, or like we have an upcoming one that's about econ, which is mostly like, hey, we really want you to go through, do as much crafting and processing and harvesting and all of that stuff as much as possible. So we're definitely trying to get a focus on different pieces. And we've even done some combat-oriented ones where we've done a little bit of focus grouping. But really what we do with these is we have feedback threads, surveys, things like that, where we're gathering feedback regarding specifics that the development team needs for those specific tests. We also have bug reporting. Obviously, we have bug reporting in-game now. Prior to that, we were doing some more forum-oriented stuff, which the QA team was amazing in going through and cleaning that up and getting those all into our system so that we can ensure that they get fixed. And really just making sure that loop goes well. So as we move into Alpha 2, you will continue to kind of see that as a more public-facing thing where you'll see Alpha 2 forums. We'll be sending out surveys to the players who are playing through that, and just trying to make sure that we're gathering as much feedback for the development team and ensuring that our reports help them get all the goodies.
And we have
then
been
obviously
getting
the QA team doing a badass job going through all the bugs because it's a lot.
Absolutely, and we've been getting a lot of great testing feedback and bug reporting from the testing groups, and we actually did some focus groups around some of the archetype classes and some of the mayorship systems.
And we did some with mayors. Yep.
Yeah, super cool. It's been great to see. Obviously, as we expand outward, the Alpha 2 pre-testing to all the Alpha 1 users over the course of the next, probably, I would say, next 2 to 3 weeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
We should be expanding that to all Alpha 1 testers, I think, over the next 2 weeks or so.
Yep.
That's going to be obviously exciting to kind of see our CCU testing, to see the scalability and performance testing that we're working on hard here in the studio. And everybody, this last milestone, our M10, we have had a lot of outstanding
Why don't they
polishing
tell us
and
what it
bug
was?
fixing.
I really want to
But
know what it was.
M11, our milestone 11, is going to be very test and react. We had a great town hall today, actually, at the studio, where we talked about the upcoming testing that we have planned prior to our October 25th Alpha 2 start date. We're burning the midnight oil. We are definitely getting a lot of stuff done at the studio, and very, very appreciative of all the participation for the testers.
And our focus really is polish. We're really trying to just make sure that we're polishing some of the pieces that you guys are going to see for Alpha 2. Obviously, like Steven said, this isn't a game quite yet. Alpha 2 is definitely going to be where you're going to find bugs and the kinks. And
I already know people gonna be just killing each other, bro. As soon as we get in this game, bro, it's gonna be pandemonium.
3 weeks, the 3-1, we'll have small updates and then the larger ones, and you'll continue to see progress as we move forward. But it's going to be really exciting for us to see everybody in game and actually get to play with everybody.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I think.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh,
You're good.
Steven.
No, you're good, Bill. Go for it.
I was just gonna say, I think you'll really see that in this area, especially. This is the introduction to the game and the introduction to A2. So this area is going to see a lot of iteration as new systems come online, as systems get refined and features change based off feedback. Obviously, all of that introductory stuff has to change with it, so that we're keeping up to date with how the game is actually playing, and in addition to those kind of updates to just keep things up to date, there'll be more and more quests and storylines going into these areas, and as well as the taking advantage of the dynamic nature of our game too, so that you'll see things that that are transient, that are here maybe only at night or only during certain times of the year. So it's going to be really exciting to see how these areas and areas like Lionhold progress and develop, not only over the course of A2, but over the life of the game. Because that's what really gets me excited about Ashes is our commitment to building a truly dynamic world.
Absolutely. Well, guys, we've walked you through a little bit of the Aland Ruins, give you a little bit of backstory on the starting location, the portal. We've taken you through Lionhold and talked to you a little bit about what to expect as a player starting within the Riverlands for Alpha 2's Phase 1 next month. We're excited, obviously, to have players joining. We're excited to see every weekend right now testers in the game and the game continuing to improve, us squashing the bugs and getting more content in. And we cannot wait to see you guys in Vera, and we will see each of you back on stream. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Hell no, I'm just kidding.
I
Just kidding.
cannot
I was like,
believe.
what? Like, no.
I
I was like, I'm
cannot
gonna fire
believe.
Kyle. No, I'm just kidding.
I
Just kidding.
cannot
I was like, why
believe.
you cut it?
I cannot believe that there were so many comments in chat about how I can't believe Steven made the jump and they didn't. How did Steven make the? Let me tell you something,
Rigged.
okay?
Rigged.
Let me tell you something. When I want to focus on playing the game well, I can. Most of the time, I'm thinking about what I have to say next, what topic I have to talk about, the camera position.
First time I think people saw Steven not use GM cheats in a video.
Oh no.
I think it might be the only one you didn't use a GM cheat
Okay,
on.
so I'm going to tell you a really funny story, actually.
Okay.
We recorded, so we had started the recording previous for this video, and unfortunately, Bill's machine had a crash, and we decided, we're just going to start it over again. And,
And in the
when
previous ones, Bill
in
and
the
I
previ-
both made it.
Bill
Yeah.
and Margaret both made it, and I was failing and failing and failing and failing, and finally I GM cheated it. And so this time, when they kept failing, I was like, God, who would GM cheat this? That's so crazy.
Yeah.
It was so good. It was so good.
I was like,
Steven has a Dr. Evil like button under his desk that causes my machine to crash.
It was so great. I loved it. I loved it.
it's too fun. But a lot of people in the chat were like, "This is the most realistic development update."
Let's see. Hold on. Can you kill any NPC? Technically, you can kill the guards. I think you can.
And with that, let's talk about our studio. Steven, how's the studio doing? Let's do a little studio update. It's been a while. We just did a town hall with everybody.
I know. We just had a town hall. We hired, I think, over 20 people over the course of this last milestone, over the course of the last 12 weeks or 10 weeks or whatever that is. And things are going well. I mean, we definitely, it is a bundle of emotions for everybody here on the team, right? A lot of hard work is being put into the project to get ready towards Alpha 2. There's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of excitedness. There's a lot of
I don't know,
everything.
Man. They're hiring a lot of people, bro. I just can't think of how many. Like, they have a lot of people, and on top of that, when the game goes live, I just don't see how they can keep that many employees. Because 20 people, they're at least, at the bare minimum, right, making, and they're based in what, California, I think? I don't even know. But at the bare minimum, they gotta be making at least 60K. I don't like the park watch, but you know, and then that's just 20 people. I think they have like over 200 employees or 300 employees. And the people are getting paid way more than that because of their qualifications and what they do and whatnot. And maybe there's a couple people getting paid less, but still, I just look at it as, bro, that's a lot of labor costs. But I think when they release the game, I think that will drop down. Probably, get rid of a couple, not get rid of, but let people go. Because they just need to maintain and just update slowly. You probably wouldn't need all those people. I just hope the game's big enough to sustain everything. Because if the game's not doing well, then, they're gonna have to change up how the game is. Because I was talking with a friend not so long ago, and I said, what happens if Ashes of Creation releases? It's all right, it's what it says. It was a PvX game with what PvPers really want. To be honest, it's literally a game of PvPers, but they say PvX just to, make PvE people happy, but it's really a PvP game because you can kill anybody you want, except for like in safe zones, I think. Right. When the game releases and it's just not enough people to support it, are they gonna switch to PvE? Would they do that just to save the money? Because if I invested millions and millions of dollars, and the thing that's not making my game succeed is PvE not being in the game, and I have invested millions of dollars, man, either I'm going to cut down on my studio and make it a small studio and a small game, or we're gonna have to go PvE or more PvE focus. But I think actually will be okay. But me and my friend was talking. We said maybe that's what. Right now, you know, we're all about PVX, we're all about PVX. But if that money's not coming in, money talks, bro. I'm not sure if they'll be able to hold out just standing on business like that. But yet again, it's his money or their money or whoever's, you know, who's buying the money to the game. I know Steven himself put millions of dollars into it. Maybe he's okay with losing it, just so he can maybe break even later down the road. You know, if he's okay with that, I'm okay with that. I get a good game. But man, we're lucky that it's an independent creating this game. Because if this is a regular company, bro, I don't think we get half of the things you're getting. To be honest, because especially with the classes, every class you're gonna have a archetype to a secondary archetype. That in itself, I just keep thinking about. PvP and how PvP is going to affect it, and how PvP is going to affect it. Right? So I'm thinking if you're gonna be anything with less than 4 people, you're probably all gonna be primary archetype, whatever you want, and then secondary archetype cleric. Because I just don't see how you're gonna be able to solo PvP without being able to heal yourself. Especially if you do outnumbered play, you might do 1v2s, 1v3s, but anything more than a 1v3, bro, you gotta be able to heal yourself. And we don't know exactly how it works. We don't know also the religious augments that they have coming. We don't know how those are going to affect your abilities or your racial augments, because they also said the racial augments are going to be in the game. And how important is your race in the game? Is your race just as important as your class? We don't know. Is your religion just as important as your class too? We don't know. I think your class is your most important thing. I think the race might be the second most important thing, and then your secondary archetype. Or secondary archetype, then race. I don't know. I just hope that everything works out, because I know there's a lot of people that want to play this game. There's a lot of big streamers who want to get on this game, and I don't think they're gonna like it. To be honest, getting killed over and over and over and over and over again. A lot of people don't have that in them. A lot of people can't get killed 40, 50, 100 times in a row and still get up and be like, oh man, this is a good game. They'll get annoyed and leave. That's why a lot of times in ESO, because I mainly play ESO, that's my game. Before I got good in PvP, I literally lose 100 times in a duel for the day. Or go out in PvP and just get one shot. Until you learn, okay, that's how you heal through damage. That's when you block. You don't just hold the block button. You got stamina. I know you also have to do resource management. But in ESO, you're more of a solo everything. You can heal, tank, and do damage, all on the same character in PvP, and still be considered a damage dealer. Right? And then if you specialize in healing or tanking, you're not dying. If you're good, you're not dying, unless you get caught like lacking with no resources and 3-4 high damage night blades on you. That's the only way you can pretty much die. But yeah, I just think this. I like the preview. The preview was cool. It's a bit underwhelming, to be honest. I feel like it should have showed maybe something different. I feel like we could have spent a little bit of time there and go out, because all that stuff we could pretty much learn ourselves, to be honest. I feel like he should have just went out and just showed what was gonna show, like the outskirts, maybe the lawless zone. But hey, it is what it is. I feel like when Ashes, when the alpha comes out, there's gonna be so much shit on YouTube. It's gonna be crazy. Just opinions left, flying left and right. I feel like also another thing with the discussions, dev discussions, a lot of those shits are kind of meaningless to me, because if you're not playing the game, you will never know for sure. Because it's really just telling people, hey, tell me what's your opinion on crowd control or your opinion on this, right? Which is cool, but you would never really have a true opinion until you actually got in the game and said, okay, this shit is stupid. Just like with the stamina, I think we're gonna need stamina bars, because if you can just block forever with no stamina, I just block every time somebody's about to hit me. I just block it, or I can roll dodge forever, and that maybe misses 1 or 2 attacks. I just do that forever until they patch it. So I feel like they have to have stamina, or blocking stuff is not that effective. I don't know. They're gonna have to figure some shit out. But yeah, man, this was a good little stream. Asset Creation is coming out this month, so I'm gonna be streaming. I'm gonna try to stream. Let me stop. I'm gonna try to stream. It's just that, man, I don't be having time, bro. I don't be having time. But I would love to get on this game and stream it, and maybe make some videos and stuff. But man, I just don't have the time. I can try to make the time though. Try to move stuff out the way. Yeah. Yeah, maybe move stuff out the way. Maybe. Let me find a nice little picture.
Wild. From
Yeah, it looks cool. Right. Cause I already know what my goal is fighter. I want to play fighter and make it be able to be solo PvP. Whatever it takes to do that, then I'll do that. If not, you might just have to go for the best solo class. It'll have to be cleric, a DPS cleric, or like maybe a rogue secondary archetype. You have a crit. Maybe that's the way to go. But I really want to play fighter. I really want to do a fighter, a double fighter, and just be a crazy DPS. But I don't know if that would work. Like a fighter, crazy damage. That'd be nice. But I just feel like since I'm a solo guy, I need to have that self-healing, bro. I need to have that crutch. It's a crutch. I need it. Or maybe potions are so good that you can really survive off of potions. Not in a big war, but like in a small scale situation, like a 2v5. Now, even then, that doesn't make any sense. You should not be able to survive just off potions alone in a 2v5 situation, unless you're really like running away and kiting them, and like kiting around trees and around buildings and catching 1 or 2 by themselves. I really don't see how you not having healing. I can't see you getting out of a situation like that without having healing. So, I don't know. But I'm gonna get up out of here. Y'all had a good little stream. Maybe next week I'll be... Nah, not next week. I lied. I might make a video. I might make a video too. But I have to go, y'all. So, catch y'all later. One love.